A dangerous blaze damages Cable Bahamas' property in Abaco. First tonight, the CEO says the real worry wasn't the equipment, but the employees who risked it all. We are on the ground. This as Victoria Court residents still picking up the pieces days after flames ripped through their homes. In the middle of the heartbreak, we are learning how the community is rising from the rubble. And they came to compete, but ended up in the hospital. Several young athletes from Central Andros injured in a bus crash this morning. Tonight, their families desperate for answers. Then in our news at 7:30, we'll show you the brush fire that came dangerously close to condos and a popular fine dining restaurant in western New Providence. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. A major blaze breaks out in Abaco, damaging critical Cable Bahamas equipment and property. But for top executives rushing in this morning, the biggest concern wasn't the damage. It was, in fact, the workers who put themselves in harm's way to fight the flames. The Our News team, including our Bethany McDermott, was on the ground to capture the images and gets us started tonight.
Abaconians were faced with a horrifying situation this weekend as brush fires raged, threatening many homes and businesses, and the Cable Bahamas group of companies were not exempted. In fact, dedicated employees spent the night into the early morning hours alongside volunteer fire rescue crews battling the terrifying fires. The Cable Bahamas group of companies is recognizing the brave crew as heroes. We spoke with two of them who shared the experience.
It did get kind of hot in the moment, but for most of the supplies that we were able to save, we had that done well before the fire would have gotten here.
And the heat was, so just feeling that heat with the breeze blowing, so it was pretty intense.
The fire raged late into the night and eventually crossed into the company's property, destroying containers housing equipment for the island. Technical Operations Supervisor Brandon Ingram tells us they saved as much as they could and tried their best to protect the building from going up in flames as well.
So from the first initial call, once we would have gotten here on the ground, the first thing would have been to try and secure as much equipment as possible to at least help us try and maintain some normalcy even after fire would have protruded.
Marsh Harbor volunteer firefighters dispatcher Roscoe Thompson telling us he was also on the ground as crews fought the blaze. He gave these suggestions that could help protect properties in the future.
Maybe putting a little barrier around the perimeter here with gravel was one suggestion. Another suggestion, if they have water here, is to make some sprinkler heads that rise up 6 or 8 feet so when a fire is approaching this way, they can turn them on. At least it wets the outside boundaries. Then the fire will not spread as fast.
Members from the executive team headed by CEO Franklin Butler took the first flight over to Abaco to assess the matter. But most of all, check up on employees who spend the night securing equipment.
Really pleased to see the employees are in great shape and great spirits, excited to get on with the restoration efforts of our site. From a network perspective, we experienced no damage to our network. All of our customers are able to be serviced with continuous network.
Butler stressed the importance of the Abaco community to the company, and for employees, the CEO's visit shows they care.
And despite that devastating fire and the loss in equipment, the Cable Bahamas group of companies ensured there was no loss in service and that stores reopened to meet the needs of its customers. Reporting for our news, I'm Bethany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Bethany. And 4 days after a massive fire gutted the Victoria Court's apartments, displaced residents like Ken Forbes say the shock still hasn't worn off. The blaze destroyed dozens of homes and took hours to contain, but through the devastation, Forbes says a sense of community has only grown stronger. He says neighbors who lost everything now leaning on each other to rebuild.
It's rough. The good thing about it as well is that the community is still going on. The chat group is still going on. Everybody is being supportive, letting people know, hey, there's a space available at this location or that location. So the community.
All right, and as those Victoria Gardens residents or Victoria Court residents continue to pick up the pieces, residents in one western New Providence community, they spent the morning helping firefighters battle a blaze that came dangerously close to their homes. Joshua Williams, he'll have the full story coming up in our news at 7:30. And a bus crash on Farrington Road sent several Family Island students to the hospital Monday morning. Our news can confirm the majority of the children are from Central Andros. We understand the group traveled to New Providence for the National Primary Track and Field Championships. Central and South Andros Member of Parliament Leon Lundy issued a statement saying he's receiving constant updates on the student's condition and is staying in close contact with officials. So far, no word on what led to the crash, but Lundy says information is still being collected by investigators. And a 21-year-old man facing charges after prosecutors say he had unlawful sex with a minor. Dijon Kirkbow, accused of having sex with a 15-year-old girl on April 13th. The teen could not legally consent because she's under 16. Bow, who faced Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans, was not asked to enter a plea. Bail was set at $8,000, but Bow will have to wear an ankle bracelet and report to police weekly while awaiting trial. He's due back in court on August 6th to be indicted. And the suspect being questioned by police after allegedly stabbing a man to death on Planton Street off East Street overnight. It's the fourth homicide in less than 48 hours. Police telling our news it was shortly after 10 Sunday night when police got the call. Press liaison officer, Chief Superintendent Sharia King, was on the scene.
When officers arrived on scene, they discovered an adult male in his 40s with multiple stab wounds above the upper body. EMS responded, examined the body, and found no signs of life.
And the chief superintendent says the victim is in his 40s and added that the stabbing was the end result of an altercation between two men. It's the second stabbing this past weekend, and according to King, both incidents started by an altercation. At the time, she said police did not believe the incidents were related, and she's also cautioning residents to find better ways to resolve conflicts.
What we in the Royal Bahamas Police Force would always say to the general public is find a way to resolve your conflicts, because ending in this way is tragic. It's tragic to two families. And so we are encouraging you to find a way to resolve all conflicts.
All right, and one of those weekend murders happening just steps away from a local church, and it's left that community shaken. Police say ShotSpotter technology led officers to the Church of God of Prophecy on Palm Tree Avenue Saturday, where they found a man shot multiple times in the churchyard. He died at the scene. By Sunday, church leaders on the doorstep sharing a message of hope, vowing the church will remain a beacon of light despite the violence. National Bishop of Church of God of Prophecy is Woodley Thompson.
Your pastor told me you all did a walkabout through the community. And it could have been that you returned here at the very time. But no one is harmed. Everyone is safe.
He has gotten our attention. The Lord has gotten our attention. Now we need to go on the offensive. Amen. We need to go on the offensive against what the enemy is trying to do in this community and the people of God. We will not be defeated, church.
Meanwhile, the Royal Bahamas Police Force reinforcing internal accountability and professional standards with a 3-day tribunal workshop under the theme Strengthening Our Service from Within. Held at Paul Farquharson Conference Center, the event gathers officers and officials just to review the procedures of the Police Court of Inquiry, focusing on transparency, justice, and reform. Commissioner Shada Knowles officially opened the session with a call for deeper accountability across the force.
Over the next few days, we'll address the critical challenges we face and explore innovative solutions that can be implemented within our organization. We are reminded that the strength of any tribunal court of inquiry is built on a foundation of trust, vigorous methodology, and a commitment to righteousness. Every member of our team plays a critical role in this. It is imperative that we possess not only the capability to inquire, but also the courage to hold ourselves accountable to the highest standards of justice.
And President of the Tribunal, Chief Superintendent Rodney Williams, says the workshop comes at a time when discipline within the force is being re-examined following a series of high-profile incidents. He says the Commissioner's vision is one to restore order and reinforce public trust.
Over the last couple months here or so, we've had some challenges internally in terms of discipline. And the Commissioner's vision is to foster some discipline and bring order back to what we do as police officers. You know, we need the media, we need members of the public rather. we need members of the public so that we can do our jobs. And the idea is to bring order, good order and guidance back to the police force, and so we can serve members of the public more meaningfully, and they can share and give us information.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Happy Monday, Greg.
Happy Monday.
I am just back from Grand Bahama. Thank you. It was hot, though.
Yes.
Very hot, but we did have some rain. I think that was Thursday night.
Yeah, you guys.
I was able to sleep right through that.
Freeport seems to want to keep all that rainfall up there, but we need some of that to come this way. So
I agree, because when I got back yesterday, it was hot here, too.
Yeah, they are going to get hotter for this weekend. We're looking for some mid-upper 80s. We'll share that now later on in the forecast, but it is warm on the outside, 81 degrees. This should be just a few clouds. Most of those are high-level clouds. East-southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 79. Temperatures around the islands right now. It is near the 80-degree mark across the entire chain. 79 in Freeport, Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 78 in Alistown, Bimini. 80 in Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbor Key, Governor's Harbor, Central Bahamas. 82 in Kemps Bay. 81 in Blackpoint, the Exumas, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, and Deadman's Key, as well as Port Nelson, Rum Key, all 80s. 79 in Coba Townsend, Salvador, and then we pick up 80s once again in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island. 79 in Delectable Bay, Abrahams Bay. 75 in Providence, Yalis, Tricks, and Caicos Islands, and that's rain cool. 75 deep south, Matthewtown, Inagua. You guys are 81 degrees at this hour. Satellite radar composite. We have a weak frontal boundary well to the north of us, but some moisture still hanging out across central Florida, helping to spark some showers and thunderstorms across that area. So we have some high-level clouds moving across that area from the west. Not much in terms of any rainfall. Andros did see one or two isolated thunderstorms this afternoon, and we're looking for a repeat of that once again tomorrow as that frontal boundary continues to pull away from us. Then high pressure builds in once that front gets out of our area. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still coming.
Coming up in sports, think of all of the superlatives everyone used to describe Buddy Hield's game last night. He was even better than that. And if we're still doing the superhero comparisons, he's definitely not Alfred. Maybe Thanos.
Greg Thompson. Hey, Greg Thompson here. And thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Welcome to Journey TV.
We do marketing and we do branding.
Training, you do everything.
I found that I'm my strongest when I am living in the very best version of myself.
Everybody looks at you and sees success, but they don't see the struggle. Say that again, Ramona.
Downgrade your lifestyle, upgrade your hustle.
If we believe God is perfect.
Come on, McDonough, let's go.
Yeah.
Are we catching this blooper? Welcome to today's episode of Journey TV. Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? They know being no more competition.
The words on Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. We just witnessed the greatest performance ever by a Bahamian in the NBA playoffs. With the Golden State Warriors season on the line, Buddy Hield delivered when it mattered most. Hield had not only his best game of the season, but the best game of his NBA postseason career in the Warriors' 103-89 win over the Houston Rockets last night at the Toyota Center in Houston. He finished with 33 points, shot 12 for 15 from the field, and 9 for 12 from three-point range. The 9 threes tied the NBA record for most threes made in a Game 7. The 33 points, a season high and playoff career high.
Conference championships and all-time performances highlighted the weekend for NCAA Division I track and field athletes. Raymond Oriaki was named the men's most valuable performer at the Northeast Conference Championship. The Chicago State Cougars senior took first place in both the 100-meter hurdles at 13.95 seconds and the 400-meter hurdles at 53.18 seconds. At the East Coast Relays, Anthea Charlton moved into the Florida Gators all-time top list in the 100 meters and is now third at 11.14 seconds. At the Desert Heat Classic in Arizona, Keyshawn Strong's successful debut season with the Nebraska Cornhuskers continued with another javelin title and a winning throw of 77.10 meters.
Over 20 sailors competed in the 2025 International Laser Class Association Bahamas Open Senior National Championships hosted at Captain's Beach at Lifer Key. In the Ilka 7, Portuguese Olympian Eduardo Marques took first place, but a local Olympic hopeful, Paul de Souza of the Nassau Yacht Club, was second overall and the top Bahamian finisher in the field. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as we mark the end of an era. Skype to shut down after 20 years. Plus, jury selection begins in Diddy's high-profile sex trafficking trial. And Catholic cardinals hold a final mass for Pope Francis at the Vatican, closing 9 days of mourning. The story when our news returns.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? They don't being no more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show in the lot.
Phosphorescent. Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy Charlie Bahama.
New season of Groovin' is here.
Follow us as the Charlie Bahama Show takes the plunge.
Jury selection got underway in New York on Monday in the high-profile sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The hip-hop mogul faces 5 federal charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering, with prosecutors alleging he coerced women into drug-fueled sex acts called freak-offs over the course of decades. Combs has pleaded not guilty and rejected a plea deal. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars. Opening statements set for May 12th with potential witnesses including former girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Catholic cardinals held a final mass at the Vatican on Sunday for the late Pope Francis, marking the end of 9 days of mourning known as Novendiali. The ceremony, led by French Cardinal Dominique Mamberti, took place in St. Peter's Basilica just days before a major decision. On Tuesday, 133 cardinals will gather inside the Sistine Chapel to choose the church's next leader, who will become the 267th Pope in Catholic Church history. Israel has approved a sweeping plan to capture the entire Gaza Strip and remain there indefinitely. It's a move that would massively expand its war against Hamas and likely face fierce international backlash. The decision comes as the Israeli military calls up tens of thousands of reservists, with officials saying the plan aims to crush Hamas and rescue hostages. The plan reportedly won't take effect until after U.S. President Donald Trump's upcoming visit to the region. Meanwhile, aid groups and the United Nations have slammed Israel's parallel move to control humanitarian aid as a potential war crime. A major drug bust in the Caribbean, as the United States Coast Guard says its crew aboard cutter Venturas offloaded more than 5,300 pounds of cocaine and marijuana in Miami on Friday. That haul, which the Coast Guard says was intercepted in the Caribbean Sea, is worth about $14.1 million US. Officials say it's part of an ongoing effort to disrupt drug trafficking routes headed for the U.S. No word yet on arrests, but the Coast Guard says this is another example of teamwork between international and regional partners cracking down on smuggling. And it's the end of an era, as Skype will ring for the last time on Monday. That's today. After 20 years of changing how the world connects, Microsoft says it is shutting down the once popular internet calling service to focus on its newer platform, Teams. Skype was a trailblazer in the early 2000s, but struggled in the smartphone age and fell behind easier-to-use apps like Zoom. Microsoft says users can switch to Microsoft Teams for free, with all their chats and contacts moving over automatically. And frustrated and fed up, dozens of Haitians marched through the capital, Port-au-Prince, on Sunday, demanding an end to gang violence and calling for the country's leaders to step down. Many blame the Transitional Presidential Council and Prime Minister for the chaos as gangs tighten their grip on Port-au-Prince. Protesters say they're losing homes, businesses, and even lives. One man told the Associated Press, quote, "All we want is security," end quote. Haiti's crisis continues to worsen with over 1,600 people killed in just the first 3 months of the year. Meanwhile, the U.S. now officially labeling two of Haiti's most dangerous gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. The groups, Viv Ensemble and Grand Griffe, are blamed for deadly raids and neighborhood takeovers, but some aid workers worry the designation could make it harder to deliver food and water to vulnerable areas. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was May 5th. Then in our news at 7:30, new tariffs, rising inflation and trade tensions sparking recession fears in the United States. This is one local expert says the Bahamas could feel the fallout. But first, days after flames tore through their homes, families at Victoria Court still trying to make sense of the loss. One resident opens up about the emotional toll and what's next when our news returns.
Welcome to Journey TV.
We do marketing and we do branding.
Training, you do everything.
I found that I'm my strongest when I am living in the very best version of myself.
Everybody looks at you and sees success, but they don't see the struggle.
Say that again, Ramona.
Downgrade your lifestyle, upgrade your hustle.
If we believe God is perfect.
Come on, McDonough, let's go.
Yeah.
Are we catching this blooper? Welcome to today's episode of Journey TV.
On this day in history, in 1818, German philosopher, sociologist, political and economic theorist Karl Marx was born in the Kingdom of Prussia. Marx was the author of the Communist Manifesto. His theories about society, economics, and politics, collectively understood as Marxism, hold that human societies develop through class struggle. The Historical Society notes many political parties, movements, and governments in different countries have based their ideology on Marx's writings. In the Bahamas, the Nationalist Vanguard and Socialist Party was such a group that was influenced by some of the writings of Marx. The party was formed in 1971 and disbanded in 1987. Then in 1970, the Bahamas Air Sea Rescue Association Bazaar headquarters building was officially opened at the former Pan American Airlines Sea Ramp on East Bay Street. And finally, in 2020, then Minister of Health Dr. Dwayne Sands resigned. His resignation followed a scandal surrounding 6 permanent residents who entered the country to bring COVID-19 related medical supplies but did not follow the correct quarantine procedures set by the government.
All right, are you looking for a fun-filled day where every moment is a chance to win something amazing, while also munching on the best food in town? Well, we're talking about the annual St. Joseph's Bazaar. It's happening this Friday, or this Saturday. Again, this Saturday. Organizers for this year's bazaar say you can expect fun for the whole family with lots of prizes and surprises. Vice President, St. Joseph's Parish Council is Randy Taylor.
This year, we're going with all the traditional stuff we do. We have the bingo, the hoopla, the kids' corner. You have your supper, your fried food, your plant stall. There's the traditional soda booths, daiquiri. We will go deep into jerk, 3 types of different food. Of course, for the kids, you have your hot dogs, you have your snow cones. And also on top of that, we have a domino tournament. We go plant. So we're going bigger than what we first started on.
And the top event is this year's raffle. A 2025 Hyundai will be given away. So if you need a car, maybe this is the raffle for you. But for youth and young adult leader Diamond Davis, this year's event says it's more than just a fun fair.
The bazaar is an excellent tool to reach out to young people in that it would allow the kids and young adults to come out, help with the stalls, assist the more senior folks. And with that being in mind, it would also help us to know what to do so that in the upcoming years, 95th, 100, and so on, we'll be able to maybe one day fully take over the setup, run through, and break down the bazaar, because it's all about planning. So it's just not a one-step ideal, it's just a building for the future.
And smiles lit up the faces of 50 children at Blackpoint all-age school after students got brand new bicycles courtesy of the Integra Group. Along with the bikes, the group also donated 5 bike racks to keep them safe and organized. The donation met with excitement and gratitude from students, parents, and school staff. Principal Ethnic Roll was one of them. She expressed appreciation for the generous gift.
You guys can look around and you can just simply see everybody is so excited. They're riding on the roads. They want to take their bikes home. They're all planning after school to go ride to the beach with their bikes and stuff like that. So they're super excited for the donation.
It's the latest in a series of contributions from the company, which earlier provided a playground and 2 laptops to the school. With wheels under their feet and smiles on their faces, students, they are ready to ride to school, including Bernard Smith.
My favorite part of having my own bike is biking, like go around the island, like driving around in the park, going on hills and all of that. On behalf of Blackpoint Comprehensive School, we would like to thank you that everybody will be early to school. We would like to say thank you very much. We love the gift.
All right, good stuff. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us. The news at 7. Up now, Italia Hall. She's got the latest headlines. Italia.
Candino, welcome back from my hometown, GB.
I know you wasn't going to let me.
Tell me all about it.
I know you're not going to let me not address that.
Tell me all about it.
Grand Bahama, Freeport in particular. I love it. I enjoyed every moment of being there. The expo was excellent.
Yeah, the toys, we say.
Listen, Bahama Blast, huge shout out to them. They certainly, they were there with us from start to finish. They walked us through, what was it? It was a Rolls Royce of ATVs, the Ferrari of ATVs. Listen, it was fun.
We enjoyed it. It. I'm so happy you had a good time in my home. All right, thanks so much, Candino. Well, coming up, a new leader at the helm of the Grand Bahama Shipyard. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our News Live at 7:30.
A bushfire unrest in New Providence threatening residents and businesses in this area. Tonight on our news, we'll tell you how firefighters handled the fire, as well as the measures residents themselves took to extinguish the blaze.
Also, as flames raged through Abaco, a group of Cable Bahamas employees stepped up to protect vital infrastructure. Plus, days after flames tore through the Victoria Court apartment complex in the capital, find out how one resident is dealing with the devastating loss.
Parents are still alive, so I will be staying with my mom for a bit. Luckily, I do have siblings, so I do have the support system to move forward.
And later, a Canadian Navy veteran takes the helm of the Grand Bahama Shipyard, bringing a wealth of experience. The story when our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Get ready to shop till you drop. The Vitamalt shopping spree is back, and you could be the next winner of a $500 shopping spree. Here's how to enter. Buy a 6-pack of ginger, acai, or coconut and hibiscus Vitamalt from any Super Value or 700 Wines and Spirits location. Snap a picture of your receipt and WhatsApp your name and photo of the receipt to 825-2191. This promotion ends Saturday, April 19th. Will you be the next lucky shopper? Vitamalt. Vitalize naturally.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Somewhere's positive, got it going on, yeah. Somewhere's positive, one-stop shopping is here. In the family, community, for me. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us. Shop, shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, shop, prices are right. Come spend the day, bring the family. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. As volunteer firefighters continue to fight that blaze in Abaco, authorities here in Nassau had their hands full this morning after a brush fire came dangerously close to Western Providence condos and a popular fine dining restaurant. Our Joshua Williams was first on the scene.
Just days after a fire ripped through a downtown apartment complex, firefighters had to respond to another blaze that threatened condos in the Sea Beach Estates community and the nearby Sapodilla Estates that houses a restaurant and beachfront bar. The Western Providence community was blanketed by thick white smoke just before 9 this morning, prompting residents to not only call police but also spring into action. When we arrived at the scene, we met firefighters working feverishly to put out the fire. There was also a large tractor flattening the nearby bush and vegetation to assist firefighters. Sapodilla Estates and Bamboo Shack owner Elaine Pinder says she screamed for the fire trucks to come, but with time ticking, she took matters into her own hands.
It's a good thing there's construction going on next door, and I screamed for the guy to send his tractor here to help push down some of the burning bush. As you can see here, the tractor is still there.
The flames are coming dangerously close to these condos on Sea Beach Boulevard. Michael Dean says his brother told him about the fire burning close to their elderly parents' home. He had to rush down the street to save his aging mother.
I jumped over the fence and got some hoses and started putting out the fire. As you can see, all the fencing started to get burned, the trees. I put water on the roof so that the roof wouldn't start burning, and I went next door to find out if they knew what was going on.
Now, I also spoke to this resident who says he had to use the pool water in his backyard just to help extinguish the blaze that was threatening his home.
Well, I know he just needed water and the hoses weren't doing much. I learned very quickly that, you need to get water on it very fast. I asked, I thought about, and a neighbor thought about, accessing the water from the pool.
This is just the latest fire to occur in recent weeks, highlighting the lack of resources available to firefighters, and it's left residents on edge.
We need fire trucks like yesterday, because it's funny how there are so many fires nowadays. I don't know what's causing it, and it's universal, it's all over. And not only that, I heard now Abaco is on fire. And what are they going to do? Let it burn until it cannot burn anymore?
Up to news time, police had not provided any update on the cause of the fire. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks so much, Josh. Well, Abaconians were faced with a horrifying situation this weekend as brush fires raged, threatening many homes and businesses, and the Cable Bahamas group of companies were not exempted. In fact, dedicated employees spent the night into the early morning hours alongside volunteer fire rescue crews battling the terrifying fires. The Cable Bahamas group of companies is recognizing the brave crew as heroes. We spoke with two of them who shared their experience. This is members from the executive team headed by CBL CEO Franklin Butler took the first flight over to Abaco to assess the matter, but most of the all check up on employees who spent the night securing the equipment.
Really pleased to see that our employees are in great shape and great spirits, excited to get on with the restoration efforts of our site. From a network perspective, we experienced no damage to our network. All of our customers are able to be serviced and with continuous network. We have some spare parts and stuff that we'll be shipping in to make sure we can get back to business as usual. But really pleased that our employees are doing exceptional and giving them all the support we can.
Marsh Harbor volunteer firefighters dispatcher Roscoe Thompson telling us he was also on the ground as crews fought the blaze. He gave these suggestions that could help protect property in the future.
Maybe putting a little barrier around the perimeter here with gravel was one suggestion. Another suggestion, if they have water here, is to make some sprinkler heads that rise up, 6 or 8 feet, so when a fire is approaching this way, they can turn them on. At least it wets the outside boundaries. Then the fire will not spread as fast. And to move some of the equipment away from the fences so they're not so close to the fences is a couple suggestions and ideas that I gave to him. And he's been very responsive in regards to doing that, which I'm very grateful.
Well, it's been days since a devastating fire ripped through the Victoria Court apartment complex, leaving dozens of families displaced and a community shaken. And as one resident tells us, they're still picking up the pieces. Delvardo Emmanuel reports.
The community of Victoria Court is still alive and going.
Kent Forbes is one of dozens of displaced residents of the Victoria Court apartment complex after the raging fire tore through their homes last Thursday. We first spoke to Forbes the day after the fire. 4 days later, he says the shock of losing everything is still real. But despite their despair, the residents have become more than neighbors. Forbes telling me what should have torn them apart actually brought them closer.
It's rough. The good thing about it as well is that the community is still going on. The chat group is still going on. Everybody is being supportive, letting people know, hey, there's a space available at this location.
It's been days and investigators still don't know exactly what caused it. But residents like Forbes has been allowed to return to assess the damage.
I don't think there's anything there, given the fact that the fire started from the 5th and then came to the 4th. So I don't think there's anything there for me, but I'm trying to get whatever I can right about now.
For the Victoria Court resident, the loss is about more than earthly possessions. It's about the life he built here, and the sense of normalcy is now gone.
I'm trying to not think about it, because for the past couple of days, the shoulda, coulda, woulda is always on top of mind, and I try to not think about those things, I try to move forward.
He says the support has been great.
My Rotarian community has been very supportive to me as well. A couple friends and other family members have also reached out to me, so I'm very thankful. I'm very blessed to know that I have a huge community that's supporting me.
Now, as for downtown, cleanup efforts has already begun and traffic has returned to its normal flow. Reporting for our news, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
All right, thanks so much, Delvardo. Well, a Haitian-American man who was caught with a gun in his carry-on luggage can avoid 18 months behind bars if he pays a $10,000 fine. Miami resident John Felix pleaded guilty to possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition at his arraignment before Chief Magistrate Roberto Rackley. Felix was arrested at Lyndon Pinling International Airport on May 3rd at the security checkpoint before he boarded a flight to Haiti. Felix brought the Heritage Rough Rider .23 revolver and 50 rounds of ammunition legally in Florida. However, he failed to declare the gun and ammunition before he boarded his flight. Well, is a U.S. recession on the horizon? An RF Bank and Trust executive breaks down what it could mean for the Bahamas and what signs you should be looking for. We'll get to that story in a moment, but first, a beautiful start to the work week. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, what can you tell us?
Well, the fires. I'm a little concerned about those fires, and like she said,
hopefully some rain is on the way.
Boy, we've been praying for it. We're still in the dry season. We're gonna soon start seeing some rainfall, most likely by the mid to end of this month. But it's gonna remain dry and warm. 80 degrees is our current temperature outside. High clouds outside as well. East-southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 79. Satellite radar composite, talking about rain, not much in terms of any rainfall out there. Andros got some showers and thunderstorms earlier today. A lot of the activity really across Florida. That's a courtesy of a frontal boundary that's still draped across central Florida. So the moisture ahead of that, spreading some clouds across the northwest Bahamas, some filtered sunshine. And of course, Abaco is still having those fires. We do need the rain. We are hoping for some rainfall in a short while, but it's going to remain dry, but it's going to get warm for the remainder of the week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us and look at your extended forecast is still coming.
Still to come in our news, there's a new CEO at the Grand Bahama shipyard. We have the full story coming up. Plus, with global growth projections slowing and U.S. tariffs sparking local concern, local experts say the Bahamas could feel the pinch. We'll hear from an RF Bank and Trust executive when our news continues. Stay with us.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Providence town.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. is very, I mean, is a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is a great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel. I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's very, I mean, it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is a great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Retired Rear Admiral of the Royal Canadian Navy has been named the new Chief Executive Officer of the Grand Bahama Shipyard. The GP Shipyard issuing a statement announcing Chris Earle has joined the organization effective today. Earle replaces Dave Scantlebury, who is retiring after almost a decade with the shipyard, including 8 years as CEO. According to the statement, the new CEO is a decorated 35-year veteran of the Canadian Navy who brings a wealth of international maritime operational and shipyard leadership experience to the role. Earle joins the Grand Bahama Shipyard from Seaspan Shipyards, where he led all naval ships and submarine maintenance programs, commercial ship repair and overhaul projects, and shipbuilding manufacturing support. Well, with tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump, there's been fears of a potential recession in the United States, an economy where many Caribbean nations like the Bahamas are deeply tied to. The International Monetary Fund has downgraded its global growth forecast to just 2.8% for the year, citing rising inflation and trade disputes as key factors. Here at home, concerns are growing. This as tourism numbers appear to be slowing. Experts warn that a global downturn could further dampen the country's economic outlook. In our monthly sit-down interview with RF Bank and Trust Vice President and Group Head of Investments, David Slatter, he shares his outlook on the U.S. economy and discusses the ripple effects it can have on the Bahamas.
Even if the 145% tariff on China is pulled back to 20 or 30%, that's still going to be rather material, right? So that'll feed into inflation here. But if they don't come to some kind of resolution between China and the U.S., and China's playing hardball as well, they're basically Every time the Trump administration says there are negotiations ongoing, they come out and say, no, there's no negotiations going on. And, you know, the vast majority of what Americans see on the shelves actually comes from China. So if they don't resolve this in short order, you'll start to see inventories run out. And you hear talk about empty shelves in the U.S. Well, that happens in the U.S., that'll happen here too. It is concerning, so you know, it doesn't mean you go out and panic and do like a COVID buying spree. It just means, once again, perhaps be a little more conservative with your spending habits, and hope for the best, but not be surprised if there isn't some kind of material impact due to these the trade policy of the U.S.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, Buddy goes berserk, so the Warriors go to the second round. And a busy weekend in D1 track and field saw everything from program records to all-time performances.
Welcome to Paradise.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucaya solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Welcome to Journey TV.
We do marketing and we do branding.
Training, you do everything.
I found that I'm my strongest when I am living in the very best version of myself.
Everybody looks at you and sees success, but they don't see the struggle.
Say that again, Ramona.
Downgrade your lifestyle, upgrade your hustle.
If we believe God is perfect.
Come on, McDonough, let's go.
Yeah.
Are we catching this blooper? Welcome to today's episode of Journey TV. Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? They don't being no more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show in the lot.
Phosphorescent.
Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy, Charlie Bahama.
New season of grooving is here.
Follow
Follow us as the Charlie Bahama Show takes the plunge in the beautiful Exuma Keys.
So you never know what you're going to see until you go down there.
Yeah, okay, so I guess that's for us to go down there. I'm going to keep my shirt on because I don't want to make you look bad, you know?
Everything that we are comes from her except the soul. And so we got to be mindful of that. Right now I can feel her energy vibrating through my body.
I feel it too. I feel it too. So put on your mask and follow us down to see what lies beneath.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. When the Bahamas Baseball Association rolled out its calendar of events for 2025, a central focus was on several youth initiatives, both local and international. One of the major goals for the BBA, to have the Bahamas represent the Caribbean at the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
As most of you have seen on ESPN for a lot of years, the Bahamas has never gotten a chance to represent the Caribbean at that tournament. We've tried several times, and I can assure you, and please put on the record that within the next 4 years, the Bahamas will be there. So remember this date.
Another initiative by the BBA aims to streamline the development of junior national teams and have them continue to play together as they progress through different age groups. To that end, the U15 team that finished second to Cuba at the Caribbean Cup reconvenes for the Under-16 Pony Zone Championships this month in Ecuador.
All of the teams are staffed with well-equipped coaches that are going to assist us in baseball and softball and moving the country forward.
Collegiate sprint hurdlers have been having a season to remember in both the indoor and outdoor seasons. Texas Tech Red Raiders junior Antoine Andros turned in a personal best yesterday in the opening round of the Corky Crowfoot Shootout yesterday in Lubbock, Texas. Andros won the 110-meter hurdles in 13.35 seconds, moving him to number 4 all-time in Red Raiders history. Earlier this season, he tied the program record in the 60-meter hurdles in 7.25 seconds, and at the NCAA Indoor Championships, he finished 6th in the nation in 7.56 seconds. Oscar Smith's standout season at Louisiana Tech has earned him another accolade, Conference USA Men's Track Athlete of the Week. It's Smith's second Athlete of the Week award. His first was indoors. The senior hurdler ran a personal best 13.55 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles to finish third at the LSU Alumni Gold last week, the 7th fastest time in program history. He ranks 20th in the nation and 7th in the East region while having a top time in CUSA.
We all held our collective breath waiting on the results of Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s MRI. Results weren't great, but then again, not terrible. The Yankees announced that Chisholm was placed on the 10-day injured list with an oblique strain. The roster move is retroactive to April 30th, therefore Chisholm will be available again on May 10th. The Yankees currently lead the AL East at 18-13. In 30 games this season, Chisholm is hitting .181 with 7 home runs, 17 RBI, 6 stolen bases, and slugging .410. It's the first Friday in May and it's going to feel like 15 minutes before we speed our way through to the summer. Until then, let's get going with our first top plays of the month. We get started at 5 in the NBA playoffs, and this was the only highlight we could find of this game that is very forgettable.
Coming back in at number 4, remember who set the tone defensively for the Warriors in the Game 4 win? We do. Check out Shavano.
At 3, Christian Robinson is already approaching last season's numbers, and we're not even halfway through this one yet.
At number 2, the glove is on point everywhere, but it's different at second base. Must be a torpedo glove.
And at 1, literally hours after Carifta ended, it was on to the next. These kids are going to be alright, especially this Egan Neely kid. The Bahamas showed out at the Penn Relays. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS, a couple hours away from tip-off. Any nervous energy for tonight?
Nope. Warriors in 6.
I don't believe you. Back to the studio.
All right, we apologize for that wrong version of sports. The full version is available now at ournews.bs or on our Our News Bahamas Facebook page. When Our News comes back from the break, sunny skies and light winds to start off the work week. Greg has your extended weather forecast when Our News returns. Stay with us.
The wait is over.
The words on the spelling bee show in the lad. Phosphorescent. Bougainvillea. Never. T. Where was the T earlier? You trust me? No. Good. No, I'm saying Pythagorean. Coca-Cola. Okay, well, some of them.
The wait is over. We're back with a new season of 242 The Gospel. Great artists, new videos exploding on the countdown. Will Najia be able to continue to turn the pages at number 1, or will someone else rewrite her story? Let's see on this season of 242 The Gospel.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Sleepy Lex has taken over the charts, but we got newcomers like Devondre and NF Trey climbing up to reach that number 1 spot, while Travis Clark and Chase Fernandez is applying big pressure. Who will be number 1 on upcoming shows of Rev Up? Buckle your seatbelt and find out. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Are you ready?
Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy Charlie Bahama, and we are here at the Wine and Food Festival here at Atlantis. And man, I got a plate full of. Okay, now who took my food? Now who took?
What do you think, Shaggy said? Well, you gotta wait until the new season of the Charlie Bahama Show starts with Shaggy himself. Also episodes with Chef Jose Andres, Bahamian chefs John Baptiste, and trips to the Family Islands. Charlie Bahama Show coming April 25th, 8 p.m. on Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand.
Welcome back. We apologize we played Friday's version of Our Sports by 10th Year Seniors. It's available now on all of our social media platforms and ournews.bs. But here's today's sports by 10th Year Seniors. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. We just witnessed the greatest performance ever by a Bahamian in the NBA playoffs. With the Golden State Warriors season on the line, Buddy Hield delivered when it mattered most. Hield had not only his best game of the season, but the best game of his NBA postseason career in the Warriors' 103-89 win over the Houston Rockets last night at the Toyota Center in Houston. He finished with 33 points, shot 12 for 15 from the field, and 9 for 12 from three-point range. The 9 threes tied the NBA record for most threes made in a Game 7. The 33 points, a season high and playoff career high.
I was talking to Lone earlier, and I was like, man, I'm so glad I'm starting tonight, because I don't know how it being coming to the bench, because coming to the bench for a Game 7 is being really hard, So just starting to get all the jitters out. It's a childhood's dream, We all talk about Game 7s. We all want to play in Game 7s, but actually playing in the Game 7 and getting prepared for it is one of the hardest things ever.
Houston had been running an effective box-and-one-like zone for much of the series, and the Warriors found the answer in the most obvious place. Hield shot 6 for 7 from 3 en route to 22 first-half points and a 12-point Warriors lead at the break.
No, Buddy was huge. But we know the type of basketball player that he is, and he's a tough cover for sure whenever he's making shots. But he made so many right plays on the defensive side of the ball, getting the ball where it needed to go. Buddy was really, really, really big for us tonight.
Over the course of Hield's first 8 seasons, he made 6 postseason threes. Well, he made 18 threes in the series against the Rockets. The Warriors opened the second-round series on the road against the Timberwolves Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. local time. Golden State won the season series 3-1.
Conference championships and all-time performances highlighted the weekend for NCAA Division I track and field athletes. Raymond Oriaki was named the men's most valuable performer at the Northeast Conference Championship. The Chicago State Cougars senior took first place in both the 100-meter hurdles at 13.95 seconds and the 400-meter hurdles at 53.18 seconds. At the East Coast Relays, Anthea Charlton moved into the Florida Gators all-time top list in the 100 meters and is now third at 11.14 seconds. At the Desert Heat Classic in Arizona, Keyshawn Strong's successful debut season with the Nebraska Cornhuskers continued with another javelin title and a winning throw of 77.10 meters.
Over 20 sailors competed in the 2025 International Laser Class Association Bahamas Open Senior National Championships hosted at Captain's Beach at Lifer Key. In the ILCA 7, Portuguese Olympian Eduardo Marques took first place, but a local Olympic hopeful, Paul de Souza of the Nassau Yacht Club, was second overall and the top Bahamian finisher in the field. Fellow Olympic hopeful Joshua Higgins of the Harbour Island Sailing Club was third. In the ILCA 6, Lifer Key Sailing Club's Eliza Denning finished first, while teammate Mary Jack Nash was second, and Grand Bahama Sailing Club's Aidan Bain finished third. Lifer Key Sailing Club's John Alexio won the ILCA 4, followed by Nash Cartwright of the Bahamas National Sailing School and the Nassau Yacht Club, while Arman Manwatkar of the Lifer Key Sailing Club finished third. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. On days like this, it's great to be a homer. Objective journalism, overrated.
Yeah, I have to admit I was wrong. I didn't mean Game 6, buddy. I meant Game 7, buddy.
Well, now we back to Game 1, buddy. Let's keep it going. Back to the studio.
Yeah, good game, buddy. Continue that trend. Right now, we have an abbreviated weather segment, just some frontal boundary across our area, some showers and thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas. We were praying for some rainfall, not seeing much in terms of that happening, but we do expect some rainfall later on by the end of the week as another frontal boundary continues to progress across our area. High pressure will dominate through that time frame, and that will continue to keep us very warm over the next couple of days, so make sure you prepare accordingly. Boating forecast in the northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. We expect those winds to be out of the east to southeast 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Low tide is at 9:50 tonight. Your high tide takes place at 4:02 in the morning. Central and southeastern islands, east northeast to easterly flow, 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep some showers in the forecast as that frontal boundary hangs near the northern Bahamas, but the remainder of the islands would be pretty nice, but it's going to get warm over the next couple of days. Look at Saturday's and Sunday's temperatures. We're looking for some mid to upper 80s. That's a look at our weather. Have a great night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.